Okay, so hey guys and welcome back to another Axel 72 video, and in today's video I'm going to be giving my prediction for the Keyshawn Davis versus Edwin de los Santos fight. And so if you are new around here and you haven't yet subscribed, please do so, like the video if you do indeed like the video, and let's get straight into this. So this is Keyshawn Davis's first defense of his WBO World Lightweight title, and that is a title in which of course he beat Berinchik for last time out, and he's arguably a standout name now in the top ranked scene, and he's in against a very tough competitor in Edwin de los Santos, who is a powerful puncher who has been known to be able to deliver some really good knockouts. He's got a high knockout percentage, and he's gotten, a noticeable win against Valenzuela, and he fought Shakur Stevenson last time out. That was quite a while ago now, 19 months ago to be precise, and he's kind of been seemingly waiting for an opportunity to get another shot at the world title. And I suppose, he did not get hard done to, but he was in a frustrating matchup against Shakur Stevenson, and he knows that, and he did get frustrated, and you could tell from his post-fight interview that he was annoyed with the outcome of the fight. But I think when a fight goes like that, the fans are annoyed as well, and I don't feel like the fans put any stick onto De Los Santos after that fight, to be completely honest. Yes, he probably could have tried to cut off the ring better. Yes, he maybe could have tried different strategies and adjusting his game plan a bit better to be able to land more shots on Shakur. But, inevitably, Shakur was the one that was moving around the entire time and not really wanting to engage too much. So again, like I said, I don't feel like the fans really said too much negative about De Los Santos because of how much hate was sent over to Shakur Stevenson, which, he doesn't deserve. He did outmaneuver De Los Santos in that fight, and yes, it wasn't an exciting affair, but he did what he had to do to be able to win. And I mean, in recent times, we've seen multiple fighters go on to do that. We've seen Haney do it, and we've seen Canelo do it in the most recent times. And so it's something which fighters are wanting to do. It's definitely a way to be able to win, and if you can do it and maintain that level of stamina and movement throughout the entire fight, then it's probably the easiest way you can get a payday against these power punchers, and it does definitely nullify their plan and does frustrate them. But for somebody like a Keyshawn Davis, I feel like he's not going to be wanting to just maneuver around the ring the entire fight. Perhaps he could, he's a well-disciplined defensive fighter he's a defensive and an offensive fighter. He's a very well-rounded fighter, and I feel like he has the skills to be able to still put on an entertaining performance but still be defensively sound at the same time. So again, this could be a really good performance, and I think it has the capabilities to be a really standout big victory for Keyshawn Davis if he is able to win, because I think a lot of people still do rate De Los Santos and still think he is a world ranked contender, and so this is a real opportunity to be able to showcase to fans that Keyshawn Davis is worth the hype, because yes, he won a world title within just a few fights. Realistically, I believe 13 fights. He's really not had that many, but a lot of people were kind of questioning the ability of Berinchik. Yes, Berinchik beat a excellent name in Navarrete, but that was a Navarrete moving up in weight. That was a Navarrete that wasn't looking his best. Navarrete has always had kind of ups and downs days, and that he wasn't on the best of runs at that point. And so people were questioning Berinchik going into the fight, and yes, Berinchik didn't really offer too much and did look quite poor compared to that of Keyshawn Davis, but perhaps that's just Keyshawn showing how skillful he is. But I feel like this is a real opportunity to be able to silence any doubters and really showcase that he is deserving of that world championship status. And to be fair, he could perhaps be one of the most well-rounded lightweight champions. I mean, if you look at Shakur and you look at Lomachenko and you look at Gervonta Davis, they all are really good at particular things. I mean, Lomachenko's IQ is just insane, and the movements in which he creates, the angles in which he creates are so sharp. Shakur, again, it's a movement thing, but his stamina, his defensive mind is so strong as well. So they both have their individual things which are really, really well gifted and well talented in. But the same with Gervonta Davis, it's his countering ability, it's his power that he has, that he's able to, land a shocking shot in which he times really well with that fight IQ. But with somebody like Keyshawn Davis, like I say, he's very defensively well-rounded, and he can also distribute power well. He goes to the body well. His shot selection is excellent. He's accurate. He's fast. He steps into his shots. He creates the openings. The way that he was able to get that first knockdown against Barinchyk was excellent. He stepped off to the side to then create the angle to then throw the body shot, which was a brutal body shot that dropped Barinchyk. And yeah, that was really impressive and showcased a level of composure at the same time at the highest level. This was, a big fight for Keyshawn Davis. It was a world title opportunity for him, and he could have easily let opportunities taken by and perhaps won a scrappy fight, but he really made it look dominant. And yeah, again, like I say, showcasing the ability, and like I say, perhaps the ability to be in the future maybe seen as one of the best lightweights around. Of course, I would like to see other unifications before I'm fully behind it and I'm fully backing it, but I feel like he has that potential to be that. And of course, he's been active as well. He's been still moving quickly through the ranks, but he's been active. He's been seemingly fighting every kind of 4 months, which has been really nice to see. He fought Gustavo Lemos at the back end of last year, and then he fought Barinchyk in February, and now he's back out again in June. So he has been active, which is again something which you like to see as a champion. I mean, with especially someone like a Lomachenko not really fighting at the moment, I feel like the lightweight division is being held up just a bit. So it's nice to at least have one champion in Keyshawn Davis who is fighting regularly, and also at the same time building a Norfolk fan base. They're going back there for this fight with all of the Davies brothers yet again on the card. It's really nice to see that they are progressing as brothers, and they're progressing really well. One of them's 15-0, and the other one's, I believe, 3 or 4-0. And so they're both getting themselves in good positions and could all become possible world champions in the future. I don't know if they're all quite as skilled as that of Keyshawn Davis. That's why they haven't been put into their own main event slots yet. But they all are progressing really well, and it's, like I say, nice to see. And it's building, like I mentioned, this Norfolk fan base, which in America hasn't really been tapped into loads. So again, like I say, it's great to see. And so, again, this fight I feel like is a very important fight for Keyshawn Davis's career, because I feel like there is some huge matchups there available in the lightweight division for him, and a name such as Andy Cruz has been talked about so much, but I feel like he needs to have some real tough voluntary defences, perhaps 1 or 2, to be able to, like I say, really cement him and make him feel confident going into them fights. Because I mean, somebody like Andy Cruz, of course, he's beaten Keyshawn Davis, and yes, that was in the amateurs, and that's arguably a completely different game, but he has got the demons there from them defeats. It was multiple times in which I believe Cruz defeated Davis, so he possibly has not a fear, but like I said, them demons that he wants to kind of get rid of. But I feel like he needs to build his confidence as a champion to go, yes, I deserve to be in this position. Yes, I'm better than Cruz, and perhaps he thinks that already, but he needs to really kind of know it in himself before he goes on to fight somebody as skilled as Cruz, because Cruz is an excellent fighter. He's been moving crazily quick, but he has been going through the levels really well, and so I feel like that will be probably made into an excellent matchup down the line. But I feel like Keyshawn Davis has the time to really cement himself as a world champion before that, of course, if he does get through Los Santos. To speak a bit more about Los Santos, like I say, he had the frustration with the Shakur fight, then he had 19 months out, so I feel like perhaps he did know he'd get another shot, and maybe he's just been waiting around for that. Maybe he's had injuries, maybe he's had, a few problems, I don't entirely know, but at the same time, he probably has just been waiting for a big opportunity, and it definitely has come around here for him. Like I mentioned, he's knocked out a former champion in Valenzuela. He is a big puncher. I feel like he's definitely the more physical out of the two. He's willing to be dirty on the inside as well, which I feel like could be something perhaps a little bit newer at the world stage. Yes, Davis fought Madueno, who was quite a dirty fighter in that fight, and that was a strange fight, but with somebody who can do it smartly in Los Santos, then maybe he might be able to offer something different. He switches to the body nicely. He definitely is willing to get you onto the ropes and able to get you onto the ropes by him just coming forwards and unloading lots of shots. And he, will come forwards, but he also can land big on the back foot. So he can catch Keyshawn Davis out, who does, at times leave openings, and I feel like he does get his footwork tangled, and I feel like he does perhaps come in off balance as a result of that, and does have a bit of a low guard at times. So I feel like he could definitely get caught out with a couple of De Los Santos' shots, and the fact that he does throw in continuous combinations. It doesn't always seem like it's expected that he's going to throw that extra punch at the end of combinations, but he just does, and that's when he can really hurt the opponents with that extra punch. And he's hard to deter as well, so I feel like it definitely will be a real good fight, this one. Obviously, he's coming off the fight versus Shakur, where he really was loading up on his shots. He was only really throwing singular shots. If he gets back to his combinations, he can definitely have much more success. But if he starts to load up again, and he can be made to chase, if he is starting to chase Keyshawn around the ring, then again, I feel like he definitely could get deja vu to an extent, and he could become frustrated and start leaning in with the wide shots in which he does throw, and to be fair, the minimal guard in which he does have. And even when you look back upon the fight versus Valenzuela, he was rocked in that fight and dropped in the second round. That second round was an excellent round between the two of them. They both got dropped, and it was very entertaining, but he's been rocked. He's in his previous loss before that, his stamina just wasn't able to keep up with the whole fight distance. I mean, I don't think Keyshawn Davis has had to fight a full 12-round distance, or I don't believe he has just yet, especially not at a world level just yet. So his conditioning might be under questioning still, but that's again something that could go into Keyshawn's favour if he is really well conditioned going into the later rounds. Like I mentioned, of course, this is for the WBO World Lightweight title. I think that Keyshawn Davis is going to be able to win via TKO in round 5. I feel like he could definitely invite Los Santos onto a shot. If he can be defensively responsible, he could set the traps. Again, I would love to see him try and find these creative openings to perhaps open up a shot to the body, or, capitalise with a really nice uppercut, which he landed on Lemos, or, various punches in which he has in his arsenal. And again, like I say, I feel like he has that power to be able to maybe walk Los Santos onto a shot and then be able to get that stoppage in round 5. Then who he goes on to fight next, I mean, like I've touched upon, there is plenty of really entertaining fights out there for him. And for a fan's perspective, realistically, there's 3 fights in which I would want to see. Yes, I would love to see him in against any of the world champions, but you look at the moment and they're all a bit tied up. I mean, we've got Shakur versus Zepeda coming up at the moment, and perhaps that might be a rematch clause with that. Then we have Lomachenko. From what I've heard, he's got until July 19th to be able to fight, decide what he wants to do with the belt. So the belt might become vacant, and then something like a Muratalla might fight for it. So if Muratalla fights for it, he might fight for it against Andy Cruz. If Andy Cruz wins his next fight, so maybe the winner of that could go on to fight something like Keyshawn Davis, or Abdullah Mason. That could be a good fight to be had. So that's an entertaining fight which I definitely love to watch, and I feel like could be perhaps on a Riyadh season show, and definitely would sell well. If not, if Top Rank really want to get the most amount of money out of Keyshawn Davis, they could put Mason versus Davis, and that's again could be another great matchup that isn't really being talked about loads, and I would love to see that. And also I've touched upon the Davies brothers being on this card, but of course Mason is on this card as well, so he has an opportunity to go on, put on a really good fight, get a big knockout victory, and then call out Keyshawn ahead of, just before the fight with Keyshawn fighting, and then he's then in the minds of the fans because he's just called him out. It could be a bit of smart matchmaking there, and that could be made. But yeah, that is it for today's video. Hope you did enjoy. Like video if you didn't, like video, subscribe if you're new, and thanks for watching.